Hi, everyone. Welcome to She Crypto. Today, we are thrilled to have Amelia Powers Gardner with us from Utah. And she is doing so many amazing things on blockchain that we just really wanted to have her on the show. How are you
Thank you so
doing?
much for having me. I am doing fabulous. So many things going on right now, and I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Yes, you're doing so much. You're an innovator, you're a pioneer. When we first spoke, I was so impressed with everything that you're doing. So,
Well, thank you.
do you want to kick it off with telling everyone a bit about what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So a bit about my background in the area. It's actually I'm an engineer by trade. I did mostly heavy machinery, field service engineering, very technical. So I have a very technical brain. And my husband loved blockchain and crypto. He was fascinated with the technology. And so he used to, on date night, make me watch Bitcoin documentaries and blockchain documentaries. And through that process, I just learned a lot about the capabilities of the technology. And I'm currently serving as a county commissioner in Utah County, Utah. So for those of you that don't know, a county commissioner is kind of like the mayor and the council rolled into one. So we're the executive branch and the legislative branch. And then there's three of us that cover both legislative and executive branches. And under my portfolio is the IT department for my county. We've got just shy of 1 million people. So it's a fairly sizable county. And we've got a lot of constituents that we serve. And so about 7 years ago, I started looking at ways that we could better serve our citizens using technology, and blockchain just came right in that area. So what I have really focused on in the blockchain and crypto space is government adoption, and how does government use this technology to make citizens' lives easier? And how do we use it to make things better, faster, cheaper? So my flagship project was to create a verifiable digital credential for marriage certificates and create a system so that people could get a marriage license without ever stepping foot into a government building, utilizing similar to the KYC process that we use for crypto, where you scan your ID and you scan your face and you've done your KYC. Well, we use that for identity verification. And then when we give them the documents, we use a blockchain seal and create a verifiable digital credential. Now that was in 2019, but what I'm currently working on is that has snowballed into a state endorsed digital ID, which Utah is the first to launch. It's a decentralized identity that is owned by you, the citizen, but just endorsed by the state. And it has all the same rights and privileges as like a driver's license would here in the state of Utah. So we're in the process of rolling out our SETI that preserves privacy, but also gives us the convenience of a digital ID. And on top of that, we've been working on creating a records schema on what records doesn't make sense from the government to put on a blockchain. So anything that is immutable and that does not have a privacy aspect to it. So if it's a public document that is immutable, like a land record, we're looking at possibly putting those online, and we're creating a list of these are the types of documents that you should have on a blockchain.
Yeah, wow,
I mean, it's so impressive. It's a first and it's efficient. It makes sense. And so I have a question. Can people from any state get a license and be married in Utah?
Yes. So
Okay.
for the digital for the SETI, you do have to be a Utah resident, but for the license,
Mhm.
the state of Utah's law says that your marriage has to be officiated in the state of Utah. So if your officiant is sitting in Utah, you can use one of our licenses. You can be anywhere in the world and you can join them via a platform like this or a Zoom or a Google Meet. And you can actually get married anywhere in the world
Interesting.
from the state of Utah. And it has an apostille seal. It is a government record. It is a valid marriage. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
But during
like
COVID, as you
big.
can imagine.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. It's huge. And we didn't even realize how huge it was until COVID. Until COVID, when governments all over the world were telling people you can't get married. I mean, that I really have, just as an individual, I have a real problem with governments telling people they can't get married. And so that's just so contrary to me. It's like, Why is the government telling me I can't get married? And so there were people all over the world being told, you can't get married because we can't give you a marriage license because our office is closed because of COVID. And after the 2 weeks to flatten the curve became way more than 2 weeks, that's where I finally just said, you know what? We're going to start doing this out of Utah County for anyone in the world who wants it. And we married. I mean, I have story after story, but one of them that I just love is there was a couple that the woman was in Texas and she was 8 months pregnant. And the man was in London and he was going to miss the birth of his child because they weren't married. They were engaged, but they weren't married. During COVID, they wouldn't let him travel here. And so we were able to marry them, give them a marriage certificate. I actually had to take the phone call from the Department of Homeland Security to say, is this a valid marriage certificate? Yes. Yes, it is. You know, we were able to get him into the country in time to see his child be born because we were able to marry him via Zoom.
It's like the coolest thing ever. And everyone needs to know.
Yeah. I can't believe it was pre-COVID. That's, I mean, you were way
so
ahead
I launched it
of
October of 2019 was our beta, and we went live January of 2020, just weeks before COVID.
My God, I'm getting goosebumps. That is legendary. And I'm sure, I mean, I'm sure it's being used as a pilot for other places, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that's been a lot of years and there's a few other places that have done it, but you would be shocked at, I mean, government innovates so slowly.
Yeah.
I literally laid out the blueprint and showed everybody how to do it. And in the state of Utah, the laws align for it. And we only have 2 other counties that are doing it. And theirs isn't even fully online like ours is. Yeah.
Why?
So government moves very slowly for several reasons. One of them is because a lot of the people in government don't understand the disruptive technology, and then it doesn't become their priority. So there were just a lot of people. When I started, all of my peers in other counties, when they found out I was doing this, they were like, why? People have been coming down to the government office to get their marriage license for 1,000 years. They do it all over the world. What's the problem? And I was like, because it sucks. Having to take a day off work before your wedding to go to a government office to get your permission slip from the government. It was more just my passion for making government suck less.
Oh my God, I love efficiency. That sounds amazing.
I ran for office on the most boring campaign ever. I ran for office I do Six Sigma and I'm going to bring DMAIC and DMEDI processes in and we're going to find the inefficiencies and eliminate them. And then people voted for me. I was like, hear me out. We're going to do SOPs and use project management software to make sure that things actually happen like they're supposed to. I mean, it was the most boring campaign and I won.
Yeah.
My God.
From project management software to, smart contracts for marriages.
Right. And not only just smart contracts for marriages, but also just signing. We had, when I got elected, they put 4 wet ink signatures on every contract. And I was like, or DocuSign. It took an average of 10 days to get a contract and we got it down to 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, and blockchain has been a big part of that is just disruptive technology in general, right? Distributed ledger, blockchain, a remote identity verification, AI. We actually just won an award for using AI to training an AI model to identify storm drains so that we can more efficiently do mosquito abatement. And it is I love how nerdy our awards are.
That's cool. So you're getting ready to transition right now, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So our term of office is 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I originally ran in 2018, took office January of 2019. And so I'm towards the end of my second term and I elected to not run for a third term. 8 years is a long time to be in government. It's a good amount of time. And so my family was done. They were like, can you not be in the government anymore? That'd be great. So I decided not to run for a third term. So I'm finishing out this year. My term will end at the end of December. And one of the things that I have really found is that it's very fulfilling for me to find those efficiencies, to take simple processes that are a pain for citizens and just make them seamless. And so I'm most likely going to stay kind of in this space, working either with governments and helping them find ways to become more efficient from all over the world. to working with tech companies that have great ideas, but just have no clue how to implement that idea in the government realm and working with them.
I know. I was going to say, what are they going to do without you? They're going to be coming back, and you have there's the task force, right? So you're still
Yeah. Yeah, so I can still do that. So the state of Utah has a digital innovation task force. Our version of Doge, if you will, is called GRIT, and there's a digital innovation task force that I sit on to work with the state on that. So work very closely with the Trade Association for Blockchain here in Utah. I'm on the governing board, so the Utah Blockchain Coalition. And under that organization, we actually work very closely hand in hand with our government officials. Everyone from the Attorney General's office and the governor's office to the legislature, and we find ways that either government can innovate, and we help them find industry that can do that, or we work with industry. And if there are laws or regulations that are impeding innovation, we work very closely with our government officials to get laws passed that will allow industry to flourish and allow innovation to take place right here in the state of Utah. In fact, our governor listed blockchain as one of his core industries that he wants to grow for the state.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. I mean, and it's like, yeah, I mean, and I think other states, are surely, seeing this as a model and, wanting to, innovate and copy.
Yeah, so we actually have created a consortium, especially for the SETI. The biggest one is the SETI. As we as a society transition to more digital and we start looking at the digital ID, we are very passionate in Utah that we want people to retain their privacy as we transition to a digital ID. So one of the laws that we got passed is that Utah cannot have reciprocity with another state's ID if that ID tracks the citizens. So you have to have an ID that has privacy built into it in order for us to have reciprocity with it. Because of that, we've worked really hard. We've created a consortium. I think there's 13 states in the consortium right now, and we're speaking to several others where we're hoping to get states as they go to a digital ID. We're paving the way to work with them to create that decentralized citizen-owned ID that is endorsed by the state. We've got people at Google and Apple looking at working with us as well so that we can really create the industry standard for a digital ID that is convenient, is secure, but most importantly is also private.
Wow, I didn't know Utah was so on top of things. I love to hear it. And I think
we tend to be very innovative.
Yeah. Are you mind blown?
I am mind blown.
Because
I'm here trying to grasp everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they're gonna miss you, but I'm sure you've also implemented systems, right, so that they can continue. Yeah.
So
pushing this
at
forward.
the county itself, I'm still involved in the state of Utah and will continue to be. So, but with the county where I am, we've created, for example, for our AI, we have an AI task force that meets monthly, that reviews ideas and policy. We were one of the first counties or one of the first government entities to have an AI use policy. We have AI training that all of the employees go through. We have a committee that updates that policy regularly, that screens different AI technologies coming in, that ensures that they're in compliance with our standards of privacy and security, and then rolls them out in pilots. Like, we have a whole system in place at the county that really ensures that innovation continues after I'm gone. And we've set up that structure so that it's not dependent on me. In fact, my schedule gets so busy that I probably only make it to maybe a third or half of those meetings, but things are still continuing to go. So we have that structure set up at the county, and we've really created a culture of innovation. Keep in mind, I implemented the first part of this 7 years ago. And so the county has really gotten used to this idea that we're going to actively look for ways to continue to improve and implement these technologies. So we've created a culture where employees think of ideas and they feel comfortable coming forward and saying, "Hey, I have an idea. Let's try this." And then we've got processes to make that happen. We have a fund that is, we call it our innovation and inflation fund. So obviously sometimes there's inflation that takes away costs, but when there's money in that fund, a department can come to us and pitch their idea. It's almost like a little pitch competition. They can pitch their idea and say, "Hey, we want to implement this technology." Typically, implementation is the expensive part. Once technology is in place, there's ongoing software licensing costs, but typically you gain so much efficiency that those software costs pay for themselves. The implementation is the hard part. So we've got a fund that allows departments to come in and pitch ideas and show us, will this pay for itself after implementation? The answer is yes. Then we've got a fund that we can do that implementation with. And that's actually one of the main reasons that government doesn't innovate, is because typically software cycles are on 10-year cycles. And if you get a great idea, but you're off cycle, then nobody listens to you. Well, we've found a way to stop that by creating this innovation and inflation fund that allows us to do that mid-cycle, mid-budget cycle, mid-replacement cycle for whatever that software is. We can do that in our system. So those things will not go away. Now, when it comes to the state of Utah, even though I'm leaving the public sector and moving to the private sector, I can still serve on the digital task force. I think there's like 17 people on that, and 6 are government officials and 9 are private entity. So I can still serve on that and utilize all of my government knowledge and then increase my industry knowledge. On top of that, I will then be able to start working with other government entities to help them learn those things as well as through the trade association. I work very closely with government officials and help them improve their processes as well. So those things I will still continue to do, the task force, the trade association.
Yeah. So when all of this happens, we definitely want to have you back, to tell us, what you're doing, who you're working with. And I don't know. I feel like you should come here to Washington and teach people. We can bring all the states together. I don't know. It's like, I think there's so much. Yeah.
I will be coming to Washington to the Government Blockchain Association conference here at the end of September. And we'll be doing a forum day at the UN General Assembly talking about SETI. I will be speaking about that at the UN General Assembly, I think the 1st of October. So hopefully this is just the beginning of many trips where I can work with other government entities, other states, the federal government, and governments from around the world to show them that there's an easy, it's in the US, yeah, it's super convenient for our employees and for our citizens, but you have to think about it. In some of the more rural areas, some of the more third world countries, if you have a baby or you want to get married, it's a half a day bus ride into a new city to get to a government building. And can you imagine if those people could do it with a cell phone, right? Like, we could really change the quality of life for a lot of people around the world.
Yes, and you are. And I know that you will. So, yeah. So, thank you so much for coming on and, telling us about all of this and, sharing this. And I was mind blown when I met you. So,
well, thank you.
I'm mind blown now.
I know, Laura's mind blown.
Well, fast friends, let's stay in touch and let's continue working together.